So for step 18, attaching the urethane bumper. Well, you can see that we've got this B2 piece and then this E7 that's got to be attached, and then the whole thing is going to go over the steering linkage, and the bumper is going to be held in place with that piece that we put onto the front of the car in a few steps back. Now the only thing we're doing here is we have these 7 screws, the BA6. So there's the big part right there, the little bit, and then there's the bumper. So I'll set this up and we'll put it together. So first off, let's work on this piece here. So you can see that this is going to sit like that. And then we have this piece here, and you can see that you've got the bits jutting out and then it's flat on the back. This is going to sit here with those bits sticking out. So we've got to screw this in from the other side. And you can see that the screws are going to go in just like that. So I'm going to turn this over and work on it this way. It'll be a lot easier than trying to work on it from the top. So again, I'm going to take the screws and screw them in together. I'm just making sure that that actually is going in and is sitting right. Seems to be. So turn this back over and we'll start screwing this in. And I'm just going back and forth just so that we don't create any binding. And I can make sure that that actually is sitting properly. Seems to be. So let's go a little further here. A little bit of movement, so we'll tighten that up a little bit more. And it looks like maybe there is going to be a little bit of movement just because of the way this is done. You can see that the screws, the tips of the screws are coming out on that side. So can I tighten that up anymore? I guess I can. The one thing I'm looking at is, do I want to over tighten it? No, it's fine. So there we go. Now it's solid. Okay, so that is done. So if we grab our chassis, you can see that the urethane bumper needs to fit over the top of that front part. So it's going to sit basically over top like this. So that's in place. And then we take this B2 piece, and you can see that it's more or less going to cover everything, and it's going to go into these holes here at the top on either side, and then it goes over the top, and these 3 screws are going to go into that top of the bumper just like that. So this is covering everything up. So knowing that, we've got 3 at the front and 2 at the back. Let's put the 2 at the back in place. And again, I'm not going to screw this all the way down. I just want to make sure that I get some of it down. Make sure that every screw is going into the proper hole, and we can tighten this down later. So again, since those 2 are attached at the back, let's make sure that these go in okay. which they seem to. So let's screw these down. And again, with the front, I'm still going to go back and forth between each one, making sure that they're going in properly, that nothing's really binding. But as soon as you get to the end, you're going to know, because with it being a tapping screw, it's just going to stop. And we can do the same thing now with these. And this is hard plastic to hard plastic. So as soon as we're at the end, it's just going to stop. So there we go. So there is the front end of this M-06 chassis, and it's quite interesting, but I guess that partly protects the steering linkage, but also creates a bit of rigidity of the chassis too, because it's all kind of being held together now and braced with this piece. Very, very cool. So that means that step 18 is complete, and we can move on to step 19, which is assembling the rear dampers, and we're now into bag C.